morning, children, and welcome back to today's online class. Children, what do you see in this slide? If you look, you will feel that there are two boys playing with the blocks. But that is not the case. Here, actually what has happened is one child has made a pyramid with the blocks and another child comes and destroys the pyramid. The child who has destroyed the pyramid is happy about it. But the child whose pyramid is destroyed, he looks very sad. We see that one child has bullied another child. Many a times we are fascinated with our friends' toys and sometimes we play with them. But there are few children who like to snatch the toys. Here we see one girl snatching the doll from a friend's hand. She's not playing with the doll. She wants the doll for her own use. So instead of asking nicely, gently, can I play with your doll? She is bullying the other girl and trying to snatch the doll from her hand. Now this girl is a big bully. So many times before the examinations, we see that our books are lost. We find somebody has scribbled in our books. We make assignments, we make a project book and we keep it in our drawer. And we go out for short recess. And when we come back, we see that somebody has taken that book from our bag, from our drawer and scribbled or torn away the pages. Now that person is just another bully who is trying to bully you. What do we see over here? One girl is busy doing her work and another boy is trying to grab her hair. Is this correct? Sometimes some boys are so bad, such big bullies, that when another child goes to the washroom, they either lock the door from outside or they pull his pants down. Is this a right behavior? Of course not. They are bullying. They are big bullies. Nowadays, mobile has become a part and parcel of our life. Everybody has a mobile. Even young children, small children are on Instagram, Facebook and whatnot. And sometimes there are people who bully us. It's called cyberbullying. They call out names. They call you loser. They call you ugly. They post funny pictures of yours, writing funny captions, making you feel small, making you feel sad. What are they doing? They are trying to bully you. These are the cyberbullies. So my dear children, we have seen different scenarios where you can be bullied and how others can bully you. I'm sure you must have faced one such situations in your life. Maybe either in the washroom or somebody must have snatched your tiffin, snatched your toy or destroyed the game that you have played. In so many ways they could have bullied you. Now in such a situation, what would you do? How will you tackle this situation? Whom will you approach? Will you go and tell your mama and dada? Will you go and tell your class teacher? Or will you go and share this with your friend? Or will you always be frightened of the bullies and hide as soon as they come? So today we are going to see and learn about Gideon, the warrior, how he overcame the bullies and how God helped him to face such bullies in his life. And with courage and with God's help, how he overcame the situation.
Joshua died, and soon the people forgot all that God had done for them. They forgot their promise to serve only God. They began to worship other gods. their enemies began to make trouble for them. Once enemies came and took away their sheep and cattle and ate up all their crops. The people of Israel cried to God for help. They asked, God, send someone to help us. We are fed up. We are getting robbed. So God sent a messenger to a man named Gideon, saying, I am sending you to rescue the Israelites from their enemies. Gideon replied, how can I rescue Israel? My clan is the weakest, and I am the least important member of my family. But the Lord answered, you can do it, because I will help you. You will crush the Midianites as easily as if they were only one man.
A man named Gideon was hiding from the Midianites. The angel of the Lord came and said, the Lord is with you, O mighty warrior. I'm sending you to deliver Israel from the Midianites. Oh, Lord, how can I deliver Israel? I'm a nobody. Yes, but I'll be with you, and you'll have victory. Lord, I need a sign that you're really talking to me. Please stay here while I prepare a sacrifice. He rushed off and prepared a sacrifice for him. When it was ready, he put it on a rock. The angel of the Lord reached over and touched the sacrifice with the tip of his staff. Fire came up from the rock and burned it up, and then the Lord vanished. The Spirit of the Lord filled Gideon, and he sent out messages for people to come, ready to fight. Then Gideon prayed, Lord, give me a sign. He then put a fleece of wool on the threshing floor and said to God, I know you'll deliver us if the morning dew is only on the fleece and all the ground is dry. He got up early in the morning and found that the fleece was soaking wet, but the ground was dry. Gideon said, Lord, don't be angry with me. Allow me one more test. This time let the fleece remain dry and the dew be all over the ground. In the morning the fleece was dry and the dew was all over the ground.
300 men.
The Lord said to Gideon, You have too many men with you. Tell them, go home if you're afraid. Gideon did, and 22,000 people left, leaving 10,000 men. The Lord said, You still have too many men. He told them to take his men down to the springs. Most of the men knelt down and drank like a dog, but 300 of them used their hands to bring the water up to their mouths. The Lord said, I'll give you victory over the Midianites using these 300 men. So Gideon sent the rest home. The Lord told Gideon to sneak into the Midianite camp and listen to what the soldiers were saying to one another. He found that they were afraid of him and what he might do. So Gideon divided his 300 men into 3 companies of 100. He gave each man a trumpet and a jar with a torch inside. He placed them on the 3 sides of the Midianite camp. When they were all in place, they blew their trumpets and broke the jars. They shouted, The sword of the Lord and Gideon! The Midianite army panicked and started to run, yelling as they ran. Gideon's men blew their 300 trumpets. With this, the Midianite soldiers drew their swords and started killing one another. Gideon then sent for the rest of the men of Israel. Together, they ran the Midianites out of Israel.
We saw how God heard the cries of his people and chose Gideon to rescue Israel. Gideon was not convinced that God was calling him, and he wanted God to give him a sign. And when God gave him various signs, he believed that it was indeed the Lord's angel that had come to him. With God's help, Gideon and his men defeated the enemy. Later on, the Israelites came to Gideon and said, Be our ruler, you and your descendants after you. You have saved us from the Midianites. Gideon answered, I will not be a ruler, nor will my son. The Lord will be a ruler. Now, even in the promised land, things were not easy for the people. They were faced with temptations and made mistakes. And whenever they made mistakes, they suffered. This story shows us how God was teaching the people that by trusting in Him, certain simple but just people like Gideon can take up leadership and protect the entire group. In this way, God was continuing to look after the people He had brought together.
My dear children, please sit straight with an erect posture, your legs on the ground, your palms on your lap. Close your eyes and don't get distracted with the sounds around you. You are in the presence of the Lord. As you breathe in, you will say in your mind, I trust you, Jesus. And as you breathe out, you will say, thank you, Jesus. So we'll close our eyes and take a deep breath. Breathe in, hold, breathe out. Breathe in, hold, breathe out. One more time. Trusting God. Breathe in, hold, thank Him. Breathe out. Now open your eyes gently. Open your ears and let us listen to what the Lord has to say to us. A reading from the book of Judges. The Lord turned to him and said, Go in the strength you have and save Israel out of Midian's hand. Am I not sending you? Pardon me, my lord, Gideon replied. But how can I save Israel? My clan is the weakest in Manasseh, and I am the least in my family. The Lord answered, I will be with you, and you will strike down all the Midianites, leaving none alive. The word of the Lord. Altogether, thanks be to God. We have seen that God loved His people very much and He protected them. So when they were being bullied by the Midianites, God sent an angel to convince one of the men of Israel that he could lead his people to fight back against the Midianites. And whom does God choose? God chooses Gideon, and He convinces Gideon that he is not weak, he is not frail, he is not timid. He convinces Gideon that he is strong, and with God's help, Gideon can protect his people. We shall close our eyes for a moment. Just like us, even Gideon was frightened. He was not sure whether he will be able to protect his people. He was so frightened that he asked God for a sign. And he got that sign. We saw in the video how God gives him the sign to convince Gideon that he indeed is the one who is going to lead his people. He convinces Gideon to fight back. Now let us experience Gideon's courage, how he picks up courage and how he listens to God. So in times of struggle, in times when we are bullied, when we feel nobody is there with us, remember, God is there with us. We shall ask Him to give us the courage to fight the bullies that are there in our life. Lord, please give me the strength to fight the bullies, not to be frightened of them, not to hide, but be courageous and to face them. But Lord, I can do this only with your help. Without your help, I cannot do anything. We shall all join our hands together and we shall sing this song. Without Him, I can do nothing. When Gideon was approached by the angel, did Gideon believe the angel? No. He wanted proof. He wanted to know whether the message was indeed from God. And the angel proved it. And finally, Gideon was convinced, yes, it is God who is calling him to be the warrior. Today, when we are faced with these bullies, are we going to be frightened? Will you be frightened? And if you are frightened, will you ask God, God, I want a sign. I am not strong. I am weak. I need a sign from you. Will you ask God this sign? Or is this the story, Gideon the warrior, enough for you to make you strong, to make you courageous? Is this sign enough that you can carry on and face the bullies? Think about it. So today we saw how the Midianites were bullying the people of Israel. And Israelites were very worried. They were helpless. They were crying out to God. And finally God listens to them. He listens to their cry. And He chooses the most weakest person, Gideon. And He makes the weak person into a warrior. And how God helps him to fight the Midianites. So in our life, when we are faced with such bullies, remember Gideon the warrior and be like a warrior in your life. Take care. Be good. God bless you.